Hey, what's up everyone? The Ham Sandwich back here with another NBA 2K22 video. I am returning to a video I did a couple weeks ago where I took every player out of the NBA, deleted them completely, and then regenerated an entirely new NBA using auto-generated creative players. The first video, I simulated 10 seasons of that, and I'm picking it back now, 10 seasons in, to kind of see where the NBA is at now. Now, if you missed the first video, it'll be a link in the description. But basically, we've had a couple of stars emerge already. One being Tim Jameson here. He is the current best player in the NBA, but he's kind of stagnated at 95 overall, but it's still the highest rated player that we've seen in this NBA so far. Next to him is Wayne Mccoy, who actually switched teams in the offseason since the last video. He won 2 championships with the Spurs. He's a 3-time MVP. So he is the current, even though he's not the highest rated player in the league, he has been the best in terms of the success, both team success with those championships, also individual success with those MVPs. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I'm going to simulate another season, see where we end up at the end of year 11. And just kind of keep track of who's going where. We should start to see a couple of the OGs from the league start to retire in this video. So I will keep an eye out for who is the first one to make the Hall of Fame. That'll be an interesting thing to look out for as well. So big things coming up in this video, I think. First Hall of Famer, I'm sure. And maybe we'll start to see some other stars emerge as well. All right, here we are at the end of season 11, and we got another new MVP, Karan Rice. He's been one of the best players in the league for a little bit, but this is his first time winning MVP. Pretty solid numbers there, but the Pelicans must have had an awesome season, because 21 points per game isn't really an amazing MVP season. Let's see. Rookie of the Year, we got AJ Armstrong, so maybe keep an eye out for him in the future. The new Defensive Player of the Year as well. So this has been a guy named Campbell for most of the series so far. But we got Otis Sharp, and this is his first Defensive Player of the Year award as well. And then Coach of the Year, Billy Donovan. So he's probably still coaching the Bulls, I'm guessing. Oh no, he's on the Wolves, so the Timberwolves. Okay. That's interesting. Let's see. Tim Jameson, he was first team All NBA. But he, if you looked at, I've been kind of following his career a little bit more closely than everyone else because he is the highest rated player in the NBA. And yeah, they didn't even make the playoffs. So he had a great individual season, it seems like, but the team didn't have the same amount of success. Let's keep an eye out for, let's see, the Charlotte Hornets were where, okay, so yeah, neither of the 2 best players in the NBA were able to make enough of an impact to make the playoffs. That's interesting. So let's see who wins the championship this year. And it is the Pelicans. So the MVP, Karan Rice, winning the Finals MVP as well. That's kind of been a theme a little bit as well, I think. A lot of the times that is the case. But is that his? That's got to be his first championship as well, I think. That's pretty big there. So we got a new championship. A new champion, new MVP, a new Defensive Player of the Year. So the league is maybe starting to change a little bit. See who could be maybe taking over here. All right, checking on who is the best players in the NBA again. Kind of the same thing we've got going on here. So we still got like Thomas Irving, who's been around since the very beginning of this league. Has been around since then. Always one of the best players. I think he was one of the best players at the start, like one of those 80 overall guys. He continues to be one of the best players here. And then we have Wayne Mccoy still up here. Oh, there he is, Karan Rice. He's only an 89 overall, and he's 31 years old. So, yeah, that's kind of crazy that he never cracked the 90 overall club and won an MVP and a championship last year. But yeah, let's see what happens this year. I mean, what's crazy is like the Heat are still the #1 power rank team, but they haven't like done anything at all. So even though they've had the best player in the NBA for a number of years, they haven't done anything with it, which is very interesting. All right, here we go again with another new MVP at the end of this season, at the end of season 12. So 26 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, a block and a half. Pretty good numbers. Okay, that we got some like legit like MVP stuff right here. I think that's his first MVP as well. Yep, his first MVP. So another new award winner here. Curtis Whitehead, Rookie of the Year. Maybe another guy to take a look at. Austin Campbell. Okay, so the defensive player of the decade is back again, winning another defensive player of the year award. This dude has 8 of those things. Just insane. Let's see who won Coach of the Year this year. Is Billy Donovan again with the Timberwolves. Our guy Tim Jameson was also first team in All NBA again, as well as Wayne McCoy. The Heat did make it into the playoffs this year, the 4th seed, and the Hornets are in the play-in. Let's simulate the play-in. Let's see if Wayne can get in to the playoffs. Okay, cool. So we might see our 2 guys face up against each other at some point this playoffs. But let's just keep it going. See who moves into the finals. The Heat are in the Eastern Conference Finals. They're in the finals and they lost. So I think that's the first time that Jameson has been to the NBA Finals, but he still can't get over that hump. There's Otis Sharp as the Finals MVP this year. All right, so we got a couple of guys climbing up the ranks here. Stevie Woods here. So he was the MVP last season. He's only 23. He's a 94 overall again. So we got another guy who's developing very, very quickly. And then this guy too, Kenneth Dennis. He was I think he's the number one overall pick a couple years ago. Yeah, he was the number 1 overall pick a couple years ago. And he is already a 93 overall. So we got a couple of guys here that could be, reaching for this top spot pretty soon. And a guy who's already won an MVP award in Stevie Woods. Something that Tim Jameson hasn't been able to do. Just double checking that he never won an MVP. He's 30 years old already. But this guy's really interesting too because he's basically the next version of this guy. Another 6'9", very capable like all around player as well. That's fun. And then you got Kenneth Dennis here. Got 49 badges already. That's crazy. So these are gonna be the next group of guys to take a look at here. Wayne McCoy is still in the Hornets, so that's very interesting. So keep an eye out for the Thunder and the 76ers, I think, moving forward. All right, at the end of year 13, Stevie Woods gathers his 2nd MVP award already of his young career. 31 points a game. So we got like a real good NBA player right here with Stevie Woods. And obviously he's been more successful than anybody else in the past. Austin Campbell gathers his 9th Defensive Player of the Year award. Just craziness. Maybe Bickerstaff Coach of the Year? Is he still coaching the Cavs? No, he's on the Pacers now. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, let's see. Tim Jameson, still All NBA first team. Despite his team finishing 5th, like 14th in the conference. Yeah, 14th in the conference. So they didn't even sniff the playoffs. So we got the Thunder here in the playoffs, of course. We got Charlotte there. Is Philadelphia anywhere? Okay, so they're in the play-in. Let's see if they can make it in as well. Yeah, looks like Philadelphia makes it in the playoffs. So we got a few of the best players in the NBA going on right now. Let's see who wins the playoffs this year. The Magic. Okay, so who's on the Magic? We got Philip Hendricks, who's an 80 overall Finals MVP. That's crazy. Averaging 20 points a game in the finals. He only started 2 games. So he's like a 6th man who won Finals MVP. That's crazy. I don't think that's ever happened before. And he didn't even make a 3-point shot. Well, he's a center, but that's crazy. All right. I mean that's the sort of thing that we're looking for here. Just craziness here. We got some jersey retirements here, but no Hall of Famers. Whose jersey's getting retired? From okay, so Wendell Patton. So he was the first MVP of the league. So yeah, 2-time MVP, 2-time NBA champion. I thought this guy would be our first Hall of Famer. But I guess that's not enough to get to the Hall of Fame, which is crazy. I mean, he did retire at age 34. It doesn't even look like he had a team his last season of his career. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. So like, I don't know. That's a little surprising he didn't make it to the Hall of Fame, given the fact he had 2 MVPs. But he peaked early, and then kind of fell off. Um, that's a little sad. I thought that would be our first Hall of Famer for sure. Let's keep it moving on to next season and see where everyone's at. All right, so we have a new best player in the NBA now. It is Stevie Woods. It was only a matter of time, I think. It's also because Tim Jameson is starting to be on the decline. So I really thought this guy was going to be the new like LeBron James, but he's ended up being more like a, I don't know, like a Tracy McGrady guy who was like a great player, put up great stats, but was never enough to have any like team success or any MVPs either. So, but we got these two guys to keep an eye on. So we got Stevie Woods and Kenneth Dennis. So I think I'm gonna switch what team I am in control of to the 76ers or the I'll probably do both of these teams just to keep a better eye on these two players because everyone else is starting to decline a little bit. Wayne McCoy is dropping down to 89 overall now. Thomas Irving's still hanging around. This guy will probably be our first Hall of Famer if I had to take a guess because he's had a really long career of sustained success. Let's see. I think I'm gonna switch my focus to these two guys, Stevie Woods and Kenneth Dennis, and then we will move on to the next season. All right, here we go. 3-time MVP Stevie Woods. So he is taking over the league, at least from an individual perspective, from the Oklahoma City Thunder, just dominating from winning every MVP award right now. Let's see. Gerard Coleman, was he a former defensive player of the year? No, that's his first one. Okay, I think there was another guy, another Coleman. I can't remember. I got years of history to remember right now. But yeah, very interesting to see Stevie Woods just dominating as an MVP 3 times in a row. Tim Jameson still, one of the best players in the NBA, obviously, but not sustaining that success very longer. And Oklahoma City was the first overall seed, looks like, at least in the West. And then Philadelphia is the number 2 seed in the East. So both teams with the 2 best players are capitalizing on their talents, looks like. Will that be enough, though, to win a championship for either of these teams? Are they going to face each other in the finals? No. Okay, so the Sixers were eliminated in the Eastern Conference Finals. And the Thunder, oh man, they make it all the way to the finals and lose to the Raptors. And Dion Ward, it's really interesting how often the finals MVP is like not the best player in the league. An 83 overall, solid player, but definitely not going to be one of the best players on your team. So let's see more jersey retirements. Let's see. Let's take a look to see who retired of note. I think this was the guy who was the defensive player of the year. The former defensive player of the year right there. Kurt Wheeler, he was one of the best players in the NBA for a while. I remember that. There's still no Hall of Famers here. But we do have some guys getting their jerseys retired. So I'm guessing, Art Marshall, he was another guy. He was one of the best players in the NBA. I remember him. But we never saw him do really anything. Was he on the Kings for his whole career? Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, maybe not his whole career, but for most of it, looks. All right, so yeah, let's move on to the next season. See where everyone is at. I believe this is year 14, 15. I'm already losing track. This is not a good sign. I need to maybe write notes down on so I don't lose track of what I'm doing here. But yeah, let's move on to the next season. See where everyone's at. All right, so Stevie Woods is still the best player in the NBA at a 95 overall. Kenneth Dennis is 94 now. We got another guy up here, Curtis Whitehead. He's only 21. So that's crazy as well. He's 93 overall. Tim Jameson still in the 90 overall club. Still going along strong there. Wayne McCoy is dropping all the way down to 87. And then we got, let's see. Oh no, okay, I just overlooked him. Never mind. Yeah, Thomas Irving. He's still like, he's actually still better than Wayne McCoy. So McCoy is declining faster than Irving is. This guy, just you know, he's gonna stick around for a while, I think, which is crazy. Um, but yeah, that's where we're at right now. Let's get another season going here and see where we're at the end of year. I should have checked 2035. So yeah, that's 14. Okay, I figured it out. Good job, me. All right, so here we are at the end of year 14. Curtis Whitehead. So he's one of the best players in the NBA coming up, and he's a really younger player as well that I just saw before. He wins his first MVP. We got, see, Jared Coleman. So he's gonna be maybe taking up the Campbell mantle of getting a lot of Defensive Player of the Year awards. That's one thing I've noticed in 2K. It seems like when someone starts winning Defensive Player of the Year awards, they're just going to keep winning those awards because they are just going to be the de facto best Defensive Player of the Year every year. So we got, all of our guys here. We got Kenneth Dennis, Tim Jameson, Stevie Woods, and then the new MVP, Curtis Whitehead, all on the NBA first team. Not really a surprise there. Once again, Oklahoma City was the #1 overall seed, at least in the West. And then Philadelphia are in the play-in. So let's see if they make it out of the play-in. Looks like they do. So they are in the playoffs now. On the playoff set, let's see if our guys can actually win anything. And no, so Philadelphia is already knocked out, and so is Oklahoma City. So yeah, once again, the best players are not the ones championships, and the Raptors win another title. This time behind Ellis Williamson, who was an 81 overall player. Again, like these guys who are not really what you think of as being the best player on a team are winning Finals MVPs, which is really, really interesting. Move on to the next season, and yeah, we have our first Hall of Famer. Let's just take a guess as to who that is if we just quickly look over the list. Nick Carr might be it. That guy won an MVP, quite a few All-Star appearances. That's one guy that might have won an MVP here. Any other names that kind of jump out at me? This guy was a champion as well, I remember. Let's see. Anybody else really jumping out right now? Yeah, I'm curious to see who it was that made the Hall of Fame. And yeah, Turan Blackman. Okay, so he's our first Hall of Famer, which is really, really interesting. Let me go back to the player retirements. Let's just take a look at his numbers real quick and what his accomplishments were. Because I remember seeing his name pop up a couple times. Yeah, he's an NBA champion, 7-time All-Star, a lot of like multi-time All-NBA player. Kind of surprised that it was him who made the Hall of Fame over guys like I'm blanking on his name already. But like our guy who won multiple MVPs and multiple championships and stuff like that. But he did have a 15-year career, so he must have been one of the OGs in the NBA when we first started it over, which would explain why he kind of ended up here. He did average 23.5 points per game for his career, which is really good. I mean, that's the mark of a really good NBA player. If you can average 20 points a season in real life, you're gonna have a really great career. But yeah, I mean, longevity, success, that's kind of what made him get to there. And yeah, anytime you see someone who was undrafted, there's a pretty good chance that he was one of the original members of our restart. So yeah, good on him. So that's our first Hall of Famer. Here we are at the beginning of season, I guess this is season 16, because we got guys who have had 15 season NBA careers. So this must be season 16. And yeah, so we got our guys, Stevie Woods, Kenneth Dennis, Curtis Whitehead up here. We got Ricky Garrett. This guy's been hanging around for a while, I think. He's 29 years old now. Tim Jameson has left the 90 overall club. So yeah, I think his window has kind of passed. He might start ring hunting at some point. Thomas Irving is still up here at 87. All reliable. Again, this guy will probably be our next Hall of Famer if I had to take a guess whenever he decides to retire. There's Wayne McCoy. So he's really starting to fall off now. So I'm actually curious. Is McCoy going to retire before Irving does? That'd be really funny. if one of the original guys from our reset actually retires, or one of the guys who was drafted in 2024. So not even really not even one of the first drafts. It was like the second draft. If he retires before one of the original guys does, that'd be really interesting. But let's keep it moving. See where we're at the end of season 16. All right, so Curtis Whitehead gets his second MVP award. So we got like two guys kind of dueling it out for MVP honors between Whitehead and Woods. Two guys duking it out for MVP honors. Let's keep going. Karen Wingate, I think that's his first MVP or first Defensive Player of the Year award. Terrell Booker. So this is not a real NBA coach, but he's a coach of the Magic, who won a championship a couple years ago. So they're the best team in the East probably. All NBA first team. So that's interesting. Stevie Woods is here. But you know, Kenneth Dennis, okay, he got injured for the season. That's not great. That's gonna hurt the 76ers chances. But Stevie Woods and Curtis Whitehead are here. Minnesota is still the best team in the West somehow. Oklahoma City made it the 5th seed. But the Clippers, who's Whitehead's team, are only in the play-in, and the 76ers probably didn't make they made the play-in despite the injury to their best player. And they got eliminated in the play-in because they don't have their best player. Let's keep it going here. Oklahoma City, can you win a championship? Can you get it done? They cannot. So are the Magic going to win it again? They are, yeah. So the Magic, all you guys do, Orlando, is just delete the NBA, and then in 16 years you'll start winning a couple of championships. That's all you got to do. Forget Paolo Banchero. Forget what you got going on right now. Just delete the whole NBA and then wait it out about a decade and a half. Let's see. We got some more Hall of Fame inductees. So let's see who retired this year. Roll down a little bit. Ralph Torres. That name sounds familiar. Is that one, or is it just making it up? Oh, he was an NBA champion. Okay, so that's why maybe I thought of that name. Let's see. Anybody else on here that really jumps out? Okay, so Karan Rice. So this guy is 36. I think he's one of the OGs as well. Yeah, he is. He was the guy who kind of took over MVP there for 1 year and then also won a championship. So he had one really awesome year, it looks like. Won MVP in the championship. 11-time All-Star, though. That's pretty awesome. So I'm guessing if anyone's going to be in the Hall of Fame, it's going to be him. Anybody else showing up on here just standing out? No. All right, so it's got to be, let's see, it's got to be that guy. So Karan Rice and then Trent Palmer. So who is Trent Palmer? So Trent Palmer, he was an MVP as well, fairly early on. Also won a championship. Okay, so yeah, it's really crazy though that was it Patton, Wendell Patton? Yeah, I'm remembering now. It was Wendell Patton, first MVP of the league. And he actually won 2 MVPs and 2 championships. And he didn't make the Hall of Fame, but all these guys did. But again, they've had much longer careers than he did as well. So maybe that's part of it. If it's sustaining the career to the end there. And obviously, Karan Rice gets his jersey retired with 2 teams. And that's it. I mean, we got, some of the other guys here, but that's interesting. Okay, so let's see going on to the next season where we're at. So it's 2037 now. We're going to keep going until 2041, I think. Right? Yeah, because that would be 20 years today. All right, so Kenneth Dennis is still hurt. He's still recovering from his injury. That's why he's not up here with everyone else, but he would be otherwise. But we still got Stevie Woods as the best player in the NBA. Dropped a little bit. He wasn't 95 overall last year. Now he's down to 94. Curtis Whitehead, though, he's probably going to be taking over that mantle pretty soon, I'm guessing, because he's quite a bit younger than Stevie Woods is. Hugh Atkins is up here. He's another guy that we haven't seen up here quite yet. And then Thomas Irving is starting to finally drop down a little bit, down to 85. Tim Jameson's also at 85 overall now as well. And then where is Mccoy? Oh, wow, okay. Mccoy dropped all the way down here to 81 overall now. That's crazy. But yeah, we might actually see McCoy retire before Irving does, which is nuts. Um, Irving, man, this guy is again an original member of this league. He was the best player when we first started. He's continued to be one of the best players ever since. I think he's won a couple championships already. No championships, but he does have 2 MVPs. But yeah, that guy is gonna. He might outlive all of us. We might finish this video and he's still in the NBA, which would be nuts. But let's keep it going here. Got a few more seasons left to simulate. I'll see you at the end of this one. All right, so taking a couple of season hiatus from winning MVP, he is back. That's 4-time MVP Stevie Woods, I think, right? Yeah, 4-time MVP Stevie Woods. So he's not been slowed down by his inability to win a championship. He's still putting up big numbers every single season. And look at this, Defensive Player of the Year as well, which is crazy. So, you know, kind of pulling a Giannis here, winning MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same season. That's pretty awesome. And Kenneth Dennis, despite starting the season injured, made his way to the All-NBA first team. Got Stevie was here. Hugh Atkins as well. He was one of the best players in the NBA. So where is So what's his name? He must have got injured as well. The guy in the Clippers. I can't remember. I'm blanking on his name right now. Must have got injured as well. And Philadelphia, they are in the playoffs this season, like missing it out, like making the play in a couple of years in a row. But let's keep it rolling here. See who's going to win the championship this year. Is it Stevie Woods' year? It's not. They didn't get out of the second round, which is crazy. And is Orlando going to win another one? No, okay, the Grizzlies win. But Orlando, they've been going to the finals like every season. That's crazy. It's really interesting. This league has not been defined by the stars. It's been the role players for the most part. Very rarely do we have a star player winning a championship in this league. We got some more Hall of Famers here. Thomas Irving officially calls it a career. Again, I thought this guy would outlive everyone, but year 16, one of the originals. Got a lot of 16-year pros here, so a lot of the guys that have been in the NBA the entire time are starting to fall off here. Austin Campbell, this guy better make the Hall of Fame. With 9 Defensive Player of the Year awards, this guy better be in the Hall of Fame. If not, we riot. Anybody else of note retiring? Nope, I don't see anybody else here that really stands out. So let's see who made the Hall of Fame. No way! There's no way Campbell didn't make the Hall of Fame. That is absurd. You tell me you win 9 Defensive Player of the Year awards and you're not going to be in the Hall of Fame. That's ridiculous. I am not going to stand by that. I don't know who these other guys are. Unfortunately, they don't make it easy to look this stuff up. But yeah, that's really disappointing. I don't know what to say about that. I'm a little upset. He had to have got his jersey retired at least by one of those teams. He didn't. Wow, that's crazy. So like, wow, that's nuts. I don't know how I feel about that one. But Thomas Irving, he deserves it. He's gonna go down. He's gonna be like the he's gonna be the face of this league, I think. When they rebrand in a couple of years. Wow, I'm disappointed. Austin Campbell didn't get to the Hall of Fame. All right, and Stevie Woods starting to drop off a little bit. He's only 93 overall now, which is the same as Curtis Whitehead, which he didn't make the All-NBA team last year. Was he hurt? Oh yeah, he must have been hurt last season because he only played 47 games. Interesting. So we got Curtis Whitehead, Stevie Woods up here. Kenneth Dennis is also starting to fall off a little bit too. He's only 91 overall. So these guys, like, they get off to a hot start of their careers and then they fall off. Speaking of which, where is our guy Tim? There he is, 81 overall. So he's really fallen off as well. So he'll probably be the next one to call it a career pretty soon here. And I have a feeling he's gonna make the Hall of Fame because he won a couple of he never won MVP, but he had an amazing career, put up a lot of numbers. Let's see where we're at the end of year 17. All right, so Stevie Woods joins an elite company with 5 MVP awards. Very few players who accomplish that task. I just hope he can get a championship at some point. That's really what we're looking for here. That's what I want to see from Stevie Woods. Curtis Whitehead also on the All-NBA first team, and so is Kenneth Dennis. So our 3 best players are still here, kicking it around. Let's see. Oklahoma City was the 3rd seed in the West, and Philadelphia made it to the 1st seed in the East. And the Clippers are still didn't even make the playoffs. So Whitehead, he's one of the best players in the NBA, but he's can't carry his team to the playoffs in this league. Sixers get eliminated the second round, and the Thunder get eliminated again, and the Raptors are going to win another championship. Man, that's crazy. So this has been more. It's not a stars league. It's not a stars league in this NBA. It's all about the role players. Looks like. Let's see who's going to be in the Hall of Fame this year. I'm just skipping right to it. I don't really recognize too many of these names. Deion Ward, I think I saw him a couple times. So was Eric Park. Yeah, none of the guys that we've been kind of keeping a close eye on so far. So let's move on. We got 2 more seasons this video for another 10 years. All right, so this is interesting. So Curtis Whitehead switches teams, goes to the Memphis Grizzlies. He's tired of, being one of the best players in the NBA and struggling on the Clippers. But Stevie Woods drops all the way down to a 90 overall, still to Oklahoma City Thunder, and Kenneth Dennis is not even in the 90 overall club anymore. So we're seeing these guys start to slowly drop out of being the best player in the NBA. And then we got another guy here, Junior Cardinal, 7'2" guy, only 22 years old, and he is a 90 overall already. So it's interesting. For a little bit there, we had like 4 or 5 players in 90 plus club. It looks like the quality of the league is starting to slowly decline again, which is crazy. Maybe we had that kind of peak era there with some really awesome players, and now it's starting to slowly decline. So that's interesting. Yeah, let's keep it going here. Get to the end of this season and see where everything's at. The playoffs. New team, new Curtis Whitehead, and he wins the MVP. So that's a big for him because that's his 3rd MVP award. Yeah, that's big for him because that's his 3rd MVP award. So guys are putting up big numbers on these teams. They still are not really. Let's see. Oh, we get this is cool. This is history in the making right here. We got a female head coach winning Coach of the Year. That's awesome. So yeah, we did it, guys. We beat sexism. Sorry, that's how funny that is. Anyway, All NBA first team, we got Kenneth Dennis is still here though. Stevie Woods and Curtis Whitehead. And then these guys are the kind of up and comers, Hugh Atkins and Patrick Starks. That's exciting to see the next one's up. Oklahoma City didn't even make they're in the play-in. And Memphis is still in the play-in. So like even still, Whitehead leaves the Clippers, they make the playoffs, and he is in the play-in again. So I don't know. Is Curtis Whitehead just a good stats, bad team guy? That's it's kind of interesting. Let's get the play-in out of the way to see if either guys made it into the playoffs. So both, so yeah, Oklahoma City made the playoffs and they had to knock out Memphis to do so. Well, I guess they didn't do it, but Memphis didn't even make the playoffs again. Another year with the MVP not even in the playoffs, which is nuts. And Oklahoma City gets knocked out round 1. Philadelphia, can they make it to the finals this year? Nope, they don't. The Knicks versus the Mavericks, and the Knicks win a championship. I think that's the first times championship out of them. We get Dusty West as the Finals MVP. He might be someone to look out for. He's only 23. That's pretty interesting. Let's see who retires this year. We got Leo Keefe. This guy's been kicking around the NBA for a long time. 18-year pro since the beginning. And there's Tim Jameson. He retires at age 36. I don't know. He has a lot of stuff on his resume. 11-time All-Star, 10-time All-NBA team, 10-time All-Defensive team. A really good all-around player. No MVPs, no championships though. Take a look at his career stats. Averaged 22 points a game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. So a really good player overall, but never had any team success. And there's Wayne McCoy as well. So these two guys kind of battling for the title of best player in the NBA for a while, and they both retire together. So kind of an end of an era here. Let's see, Wayne McCoy, his career stats, 15 and 10 for his career with 5 assists. Pretty good all-around player, it looks like. He was a 3-time MVP though, and a 2-time champion. So he had a much better career success than Tim Jameson did. So I think he's undoubtedly a Hall of Famer. Tim Jameson might be on the edge of being a Hall of Famer. So let's see who actually gets to the Hall of Fame. And it is Tim Jameson and Wayne McCoy. So those two guys. Leo Keefe was another guy that I kind of had an eye on. Yeah, these guys followed around quite a bit in this video, especially, hoping that they would be the future of the league. And in a certain way they were, but yeah, it's really been all about the role players moving forward. So yeah, this is 2040. So we'll move on through here. And then we'll get to 2042. That should be the end of this video after that. So we've got 2 more seasons to do. Let's see if anything else interesting happens. All right, so Curtis Whitehead is still the best player in the NBA, holding steady at 92. But we got some other guys up here in the 90 overall club. So we got Abe Morris and Patrick Starks. I don't think those guys were here last year. Junior Cardinal, he starting the year injured, looks like, but he's should be all right. He's a 90 overall still as well. Dusty West, so he was the guy who won the Finals MVP last year. He's only at 87 though. He might be, he might have peaked already. I'll probably start following Curtis Whitehead around now that our guys are starting to drop off a little bit. If you scroll down a little bit, Stevie Woods in 86 now, so he's really starting to fall off, and so is Kenneth Dennis. So Kenneth, he's only 28 still, but he really fell off already. Kind of an early prime to his career and a quick fall off. Kind of disappointing to see there. But yeah, let's see if Whitehead can do anything now. He's going to be the new face of the league, I think. Let's see what he can do. All right, so a new MVP for this season, Patrick Starks. He's another one of those guys that's kind of on the up and up. 24 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Pretty good numbers there. Let's keep it moving through Defensive Player of the Year. Steve Kerr is still around. I'm assuming he's still coaching the Warriors. Yeah, man, 26 years in the league. That's crazy. And we got an almost completely new All-NBA first team here. Curtis Whitehead is still here, but everyone else, the newer guys on the way up. So Abe Morris was up there as well. So that's interesting. Grizzlies, once again, didn't even make the playoffs. But Curtis Whitehead, man, like, you're the best player, but you're kind of in the what's his name? Category. Tim Jameson category of guys who just can't win. And the Knicks win another championship behind Dusty West. So that's crazy. Let's see. We got one more year of this. Let's see who makes the Hall of Fame this season. Ethan Sparks. That's not a name I recall. He had a pretty good career. 19 points a game. And yeah, 4 jersey retirements there. Let's move on into the last season of this video. It's been interesting. A lot of star players emerging, but again, like not having team success. Kind of an interesting trend that we're seeing here in this NBA. And Patrick Starks now is the best player in the NBA. Might have to start following him around as well. He's another like guy in he's another guy in that Tim Jameson mold. 6'9" guard, kind of do it all. And then Abe Morris is up here as well. He's only 5'10", which is crazy. But these are your top 4 players in the NBA now: Starks, Whitehead, Morris, and Cardinal. So, and then Dusty West is up here as, you know, a 2-time Finals MVP, but he's not really the best player in the NBA at all. Yeah, those are the top 4 right now. Let's see where they end up at the end of the last season of this video. All right, we got a new star on the rise here, it looks like, with Patrick Starks winning his 2nd MVP award. So he's definitely coming up big time for the Warriors. Zach Sims, rookie of the year, averaged 20 points a game. That's pretty impressive for a rookie. And then Lewis Fisher was the 2nd defensive player of the year award. Steve Kerr, another coach of the year award. Curtis Whitehead still making All-NBA first team, as well as Stevie Woods, even though he's only an 84 overall now. But the Grizzlies, I don't think they even made the playoffs. Or they did not. Yeah, pretty disappointing there. Let's see who wins the playoff, who wins the championship in this last season of this video. Oh, we got the Warriors barely eking it out over the Magic, who have made it to the finals once again after a couple of years out of it. We have Patrick Starks here. He wins the MVP, championship, and finals MVP all in the same season. We haven't seen that since Mccoy, since Wayne McCoy, I think, was the last one to do that. So pretty awesome out of him. We might have to follow his career in the future. Let's advance to the end of this season. And no one made the Hall of Fame out of this year. So let's do a quick little recap here. Go back over the last 10 years and see kind of where things are at over the course of this video. All right, so I just counted. I accidentally did 11 years. But whatever, no big deal. Math is hard, okay? It's also hard when I don't know. Anyway, so 11 years then over the simulation. Whatever, it's my video. Who cares? So we got the last 11 champions have been New Orleans. So I guess Caron Rice was the last one to do finals or regular season MVP, champion, finals MVP. So that was New Orleans. That was the first championship of this video. And then you had the Rockets winning one. Orlando winning his championship here. Toronto going back-to-back. And then Orlando winning again. The Grizzlies won a championship this season here. And then they just fell off the map after getting the best player in the NBA somehow. And then you have Toronto winning another championship. So that's the closest thing we've had to a dynasty this video is 3 championships in 5 years. Knicks won back-to-back, so keep an eye out for them and Dusty West. And then in the last championship of this video here, we have Golden State winning behind Patrick Starks, who was the new best player in the NBA. So yeah, if we go back here, yeah, I think the Raptors are the first 3-time champion of this series. That's pretty impressive out of them. We've got a couple of back-to-backs already between the Spurs and now the Knicks now. But the Raptors are the first team to win 3 championships. The closest thing we've had to a dynasty so far. Going for MVPs here, going back. We got Caron Rice, Stevie Woods picking up his 5 MVPs there. Curtis Whitehead picking up his 3 MVPs, and then Patrick Starks. So yeah, a lot of like star power, a lot of sustained success out of those stars. But Patrick was the first one with multiple MVPs to win a championship so far. Not since Wayne McCoy did that. So Patrick Starks might be who we start following in the next video. And here are our Hall of Famers. So this is going to be a new thing for this video here. Who's making the Hall of Fame. out of our seasons here. So as you can see, is a couple year break. Actually, quite a big break there between the last time there was Hall of Famers in real life and then in the game. So yeah, about 15 years before we started seeing some Hall of Famers come through. So notable names are Karan Rice, Thomas Irving, Wayne McCoy, and Tim Jameson. So those are kind of our notable MVPs, guys that we kind of kept a close eye on their careers. So that's it. I mean, I know I did 11 seasons this time because I wasn't really keeping too close to track. I promise I'll do better next time. But pretty interesting so far. Next time, whenever that is, I'll pick up with the Golden State Warriors and follow Stark's career around. But yeah, that's it for today, and I will see you in the